Welcome to the best family outdoor show. Right now it's spring, so what that means, it's time to de-winterize. I did a bunch of videos on how to winterize your RVs with air, with antifreeze, and those are the two options, or bring it to our shop. But now I'm going to show you guys how to de-winterize. So the first thing you want to do is look at your hot water tank, because this is the most important piece of your de-winterization. If you do this wrong, this tank's gonna explode on you and it's not gonna work. So I have the plug, which goes right here, but I left it right here in the tank, so that way I can look for it in spring. If you put it somewhere that isn't right here, I promise you, come spring, you're not gonna find it and you're gonna have trouble. Not expensive, but you don't want to buy a new one every single time. So what you're gonna need, some Teflon tape, regular Teflon tape that you use for your plumbing at home. You can use the yellow one, you can use, which is for gas like propane, or you can use the white one. I found both works. So again, here's the cap. Take a bit of tape, rip it, go around this thread a few times. They say do it once, but I found once is not enough, so I just do it a couple of times, and I find that works really good. Anyone that says otherwise, hey man, do it one time yourself then. But I find a couple of times ensures that it fills in all the gaps, and you don't got to do it more than once. So you see this is starting to wear out, but I don't care. When these wear out, I just buy a new one. So here you go. Now it's threaded. That is the drain hole for the hot water tank. Let it go in. You want to cross thread. So basically, push forward and turn it. Turn it until you can't turn it with your finger anymore, and then take a wrench and then turn it more. It's pretty tight right now, my finger. So what you want to do is get one of these adjustable wrenches or a very small wrench. But this is what I currently have in my toolbox, so I'm using this. You can notice here, this piece. So notice this piece here. I've already bent it in. It used to be a thing that blocks right here, which is this, but I bent it in to give me more room. This is a very common thing to do, because without it, it's literally super hard to get in there, and you'll likely cut yourself a few times on this thing. Because I'm so sick of cutting myself, I made this modification. Because if you look, even if you had a tool that goes straight, how do you get in? There's this pipe right here. So you have to go in this way, okay? However you do it is up to you. You can use a crescent wrench like this. You can use a tiny wrench, which I have at home, but not with me right now. So I'm using this. But you can see, as long as you get something in there, you can slowly tighten it up. Remember, it's going to be a slow process, which is why I said use your fingers and tighten the beginning. There you go. Once you get a good handle of the situation with this, using this opening right here, you can slowly wrench it tight. So you might say that this ruins the cap, right? This RV I've had for what, 6 years now? Done this 12 times. Look at that cap. I can use that another 6 times probably, at least, based on what I'm doing. And these are not like the Suburban tanks, which are the other brand of hot water tank that uses an anode rod, which is metal. This one is not a Suburban tank. It is a, I believe it's Atwood. Where is the brand here? Remember the brand, here it is. The G6A-8E. It is an Atwood. It's an Atwood tank, which is why it's a plastic plug. If you had a Suburban tank, it would be an anode rod. And that I have a video for, and I will do one of that too, because I have an RV I have to do. That is a Sunseeker with a Suburban tank. That one I use a big giant pipe with the right hex fitting to unscrew the anode rod, which I'll demonstrate later. Perhaps I'll link that video in the description. See that? Now it's tight, okay? This should hold. But when I start filling the tank up, I'm using the hot water tank, I have to check to make sure there's no small leaks coming off the bottom. If there is, what I usually do is just tighten that a few more times and it'll stop the leak. So let's fill it up with water and check it out. But before we do that, there's a couple of things we got to do. So leave this open, because you can observe it. This is the freshwater fill, which you open up like this and put water in. But right now, if we do that, nothing's going to happen because we haven't closed the water valves yet. So let's head into the RV and close the valves and set it up. Okay, so we're in the RV now, and right now, this is open. This is the drain for the freshwater tank. Mine came with a cracked pipe here, so I've just taped it, probably because the previous owner didn't drain that tank enough and this cracked, or I don't know why it cracked, but basically I fixed it with some tape and it works because this is just for draining every single year and it's been fine. But what I'm trying to say is, if you look here, this is the valve you want to turn like that, and now you can close the valve, the drain valve for the fresh water tank. So when you fill this baby up with water, it's not going to leak from the bottom. Okay, so here's the back of the hot water tank. You have to reverse your winterization that you did. I've explained this a few times now in other videos, but let me do it again really quick. Right here is the pipe going in to feed the hot water tank with fresh water from your reservoir or your city water. Here is the inlet for the water. The top one is the outlet. As you fill in the water through the bottom, the tank rises and the water exits to the top. So right now we have reversed it so that nothing ever hits this inlet. If you look at it from the winterization, water goes in, it goes up, this is closed, nothing goes into the tank, so it just keeps flowing outwards. Now we want water to flow into the tank, so we have to undo this valve here, make it open. So open means straight, and when it crosses your pipe, it usually means closed. So parallel usually means open. In this case, that is definitely the case. So that's open. Now the water goes up, and now it's going both ways, this way and that way. What you want to do is close this one right here in the middle. So now, if you look at it, water comes in, and you want to open this one here. So now if you look at it again, water goes in, it tries to go up, doesn't go up, it's closed, it goes down, and then through the inlet. And as it goes up, water comes out through the hot outlet, and it goes straight to your hot pipes. It does not mix with the cold anymore because it is closed there. And that is a hot water system. The second thing you want to do, mind you, these are just 2 temporary screws I put in. Okay, so these low drain points are open. I have to close it now. And when I say a low drain point, I mean this is for the whole plumbing system, right? The sink, the washroom sink, the washroom sink, the shower, and the vanity sink will all drain to this. So if you open this, which is open like this, parallel, most of the garbage from most of the leftover water would have drained out from the last winterization. So now, to make it work, you must close it. If you leave that open, your water is not going to work, because when you put pressure, it's going to spew from the bottom. So you have to make sure these are closed. Otherwise, when you use that water pump, it's going to spew out from the bottom, and you're just going to see that it's not going to work. It must be a closed system. Like air winterization works with. There we go, water. So winterizing with air is great because if you do it right, it's super easy. Okay, so I had this unscrewed because I like to give it a bit of air breathing out and expansion in that pump. And you look over here, that is the strainer. Sometimes that can crack if you don't get all the water out, but I made sure I pumped a lot of water out and no cracking, which is good. If it does, it's just like a $20 fix. Not a big deal.
You have a video on it too.
I do have a video on it, yes. If you look at it, the fresh water tank is starting to fill up right there. So if I turn the pump on, I should start hearing some squealing. There we go. This is where you observe for leaks. As the water, you can see that the pump is working, so that's good. Can you give me the video camera for a second? Okay, that's using the flashlight. Okay, see that? There's the pump. It's working its way up. And if you look back there, the strainer's not leaking. So that's good, everything's dry. That's what you want to see. You want to see a dry floor. Now, you're probably wondering what that noise is. That is the pump pumping water to fill that hot water tank up. Before the system's going to work, that pump is going to fill that 6-gallon tank up. So right now it's filling it and filling it and filling it. And when the pressure is good to go, it will stop. One thing that was off camera that I did was I closed the pressure valve. It was up because when you de-winterize, you push it up, but I closed it. Look here, there's no leaks. Everything's absolutely dry, so good to go. Yeah. So here we are testing it out. Air, lots of air. What you're going to see eventually is water if you're lucky. And earlier you heard silence, which meant silence meant that pressure was holding. I gotta turn that tank off, the water off. It's filling up right now. Okay, back.
Okay, see that was the water pressure thing turning off.
Okay, so earlier you were seeing a lot of air, which means that air's not out yet. Now we have water. Stop. You should hear that stop, because what happens is the water pump brings the pressure in the system to a certain level, I don't know by heart, and then it stops. Okay? If there's a leak, what you're gonna hear is like that is bad. That means you're in trouble because there's a leak somewhere and you gotta find it. Lucky for you, it's not that hard to find because this RV has a few places where things would leak. But in my case right now, let's move along to the other things to make sure it works. Right here. There we go. This one has some air. Close. No pressure noises. Get the hot side.
That's the cold side, actually.
I don't know, one or the other. Good to go. See? Make it work. Make the pump work. And there you go. When I changed, this is still the original for this one, but I changed the one from another RV that wasn't original because they started failing at like 5 years. Someone stuck a screw into the PEX pipe to reduce the water flow. That's how they get to run so slow. They stick a screw in there. Now I know. So if you want your flow to be quicker, take the screw out. Alright, next up, the shower. So this has to be screwed in. There's a rubber garment inside. Some guys put Teflon here. Not needed because there's a rubber seal. And let's turn it on and see if we got a working shower. Now let's try the other side. There you go. That works too. Lastly, the toilet. So there's the valve. Fill it up. Drain it. There you go. Voila. That is how you de-winterize the 23A Majestic in spring after you have winterized it in the winter. As you can see, I used air to do it. Having the best family outdoor show. I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace out. let's close this baby up. Just a couple of screws here, a couple of screws there, and you're good to go. But of course, I'm going to open this up later to do one more vacuum and wipe. There's a lot of dust accumulated over the winter. So I will just lightly use my hands and close it so that no one kicks it over on the way through, like my wife, my kids, any of those guys, because they will definitely kick it over and break the drawer and make me buy a new drawer. I don't want that happening. So I'd like a smart dad. Just lightly close these drawers and secure it with some screws. But anyways, that's it. I'm done.